right, welcome to the fourth and final game of the evening. Up this time is a game called Genetic Disaster. Now, that is a title that really doesn't provide any guidance into its playstyle or genre. That's more referring to the characters or character classes, I guess, that you play as. You play as a genetic disaster, and the genetic disaster is tied into the roguelike and roguelite elements of the game. Because, yeah, this is a roguelike twin stick shooter. Like, where you play as a actual genetic disaster who is prone to mutating, and your mutations are power-ups of various sorts that you collect through the levels as you do in these sorts of things. And also the roguelike, it's procedurally generated. Also, this game is hard as fuck. So it's got all the trappings and tropes that you'd expect from the genre or the codification of instructions. Because once again, roguelike is more a set of features more than an actual genre these days. Because, here we see it applied once again to a twin stick shooter sort of thing. It's also a multiplayer-focused twin-stick shooter, no matter what the fucking PR materials say. Because, yeah, I don't think I got above floor 3 on this, and there are 12 levels. Yeah, not a lot of levels for a roguelike necessarily, but once again, this game has a lot of enemies, horde of enemies, and its combat is handled through various guns that you picked up. Everything from like a shotgun to a machine gun to a fucking blunderbuss, all that, and they all have limited ammo, and if you run out, you have to use a worthless melee attack, and that's a general description of the game. Well, kind of enough dancing around the subject. This is the most okay it's average game I've played in a while. I suppose in the field of roguelike twin stick shooters, this reminds me a lot of a game we reviewed a few years back called Mass Destruction. Aesthetically, that game was very different. But in terms of like combat and trope mixing, and like it's fairly similar. It's like you might find differences in the details here and there, and yeah, like the gunplay, the maneuverations, the special attacks, all that stuff. They're fine, I guess, but really nothing more than that. Like, it's definitely not the first one of these I'd recommend. I think the first one of these I'd recommend is like The Binding of Isaac. Say what you will about our issues with the creator of the game. The Binding of Isaac is certainly endlessly inventive. This game, as much as it's trying to sell you on its trappings and its art style and all that stuff, it's so run-of-the-mill. Like, in fact, that's why I stopped playing it. After a few hours, I was just bored of the game. Maybe that's a bit of a me problem or a us problem, because, once again, we play a lot of games. Mm-hmm. So sometimes a game might have to do a bit more to impress the likes of me. And this game certainly didn't do that. And it's also, once again, I did not have a chance to try any sort of multiplayer because we only got one code. That's kind of how that goes. We only got the one code. because this game also has a dedicated multiplayer mode called Stool Wars. It's located in a PvP arena for 2 to 4 players. No guns, only stools, explosive barrels, and boost. If the cooperation is painful during the main game, here's the best place to settle scores and blow off some steam. It's always a bit frustrating when we review games with a significant multiplayer component and we're not able to test out the multiplayer. But so it goes. And if I'm judging this game on the merits of its single player, it's okay. It gets the job done, I guess, but I can't go more than that. And clocking out the price here, it's $15. I'd say wait for a sale, $7.50 to $9.99 at most. And yeah, that's about it for me. It's definitely got more depth than a lot of games we review, but it still left me very little to say at the end of the day, because nothing stands out. Just nothing stands out. All right, then. So yeah, that'll about do it for Genetic Disaster here. The week ahead. So let me see here. On Wednesday, September 22nd, we will be finally welcoming to the program one Thomas Darby of Magic Chopstick Games. This is an interview that's been a few months in the making. It's an interview that's been delayed at least twice from my recollection due to various issues with scheduling, as these things happen. But I've gotten the confirmation that this is happening. Thomas Darby, he is the developer of both Obliteracy and the Jardinians, both games that we have reviewed on the program. Granted, Twilight is no longer on the program right now, but he still reviewed that one. So we'll be talking about those on Wednesday, and whatever new project he's doing, on Friday, September 24th. So we might be having an interview with Super Rare Games. They're one of those providers of physical releases for indie games that have cropped up in recent years. Think limited run, but British, basically. But they have not confirmed with me yet. And I haven't gotten any sort of message since I pinged them about a week ago. So fair chance this gets called off. We'll see how things develop in the next few days. As far as I know, we are having a new episode of Last News Disc on the left. Whatever scheduling problems Mac is having hasn't affected that show yet, thankfully. Mm-hmm. And he's been having a lot of them, I know. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so until Wednesday, I shall wish you good gaming.